Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's me Sabah Said and I'm here with the topic of Vernier Caliper. It's the third lecture of class 9 physics of chapter number 1 of Punjab textbook board, which is also used by FBISE. Vernier Caliper. As in last lecture I have told you about meter rule and whose least count is 1 millimeter, which is used to measure the length of different objects. Similarly, Vernier calipers can also used to measure the length of different objects. Then why do we need Vernier calipers? Because the accuracy obtained in measurements using a meter rule is up to 1 millimeter. However, the accuracy greater than 1 millimeter can be obtained by using some other instrument such as Vernier calipers. What is Vernier caliper? A measuring device that consists of a main scale with a fixed jaw and a sliding jaw with an attached vernier. Here in this picture you can see one is vernier scale and other is main scale, and it has some jaws that like outer jaws, inner jaws, all these are the jaws. So next is purpose. Why do we use Vernier caliper? A Vernier caliper has main jaws that are used for measuring external diameter as well as smaller jaws that are used for measuring the internal diameter of the objects. Some models also have depth gauge. In this picture you can see the point A shows the external jaws of a Vernier caliper which are used to measure the external diameter of any object, and the other point 2 show that the internal jaws of a Vernier caliper which are used to measure the internal diameter of the object, and point 3 is showing the depth gauge which is used to measure the depth of any instrument or any object. Here we have the parts of Vernier caliper. It has two jaws, one is fixed jaw and other is movable jaw. What is fixed jaw? This is a fixed jaw with main scale attached to it. Main scale has centimeters and millimeters mark on it. And other is movable jaw. The other jaw is a movable jaw. It has vernier scale having 10 divisions over it, such that each of its division is 0.9 millimeter. Here in this scale you can see one is fixed jaw and other is movable, which is moving on the main scale and which is known as vernier scale, where a fixed jaw is attached to the main scale and it has reading in meters or centimeters and millimeters. Also the movable jaw has 10 divisions which are used to measure the diameter of any object. What is the least count? The difference between one small division on main scale division and one vernier scale division is 0.1 millimeter. It is called the least count of the Vernier caliper. Least count of the Vernier calipers could also be found as given below. Least count of Vernier caliper is equal to smallest reading on main scale is divided by number of divisions on vernier scale. Smallest reading on main scale is 1 millimeter and the number of divisions on vernier scale is 10 division, which is equal to 0.1 millimeter. Hence least count is equal to 0.1 millimeter, which is equal to 0.01 cent. Here working of a Vernier calipers. First of all, find the error, if any, in the measuring instrument. It is called zero error of the instrument. Knowing the zero error, necessary correction can be made to find correct measurement. Such a correction is called zero correction of the instrument. Zero correction is negative of zero error. Here in this picture you can see when the both zero coincide with each other, then there will be no zero error, and when they don't coincide then there will be some zero error. What is zero error? Zero errors are conditions when a Vernier caliper shows a reading when it should be zero. This happens when the two scales of caliper become misaligned and do not coincide, the jaws are fully closed. Zero error can either be positive or negative, meaning that the 0 mark on Vernier scale can either be ahead of the main scale 0 positive or behind the main scale 0 that is negative. Here in first picture you can see the positive 0 error. When the 0 of main scale is on the left side of the 0 of the Vernier scale, then it would be called as positive 0 error. Similarly, when the 0 of Vernier scale is left to the 0 of the main scale, then it will be called as negative 0 error. How to take a reading through Vernier caliper? Taking a reading on Vernier caliper, let's find the diameter of a nut using Vernier calipers. Place the nut between jaws of the Vernier calipers. Close the jaws till they press the opposite sides of the object gently. Note the complete deviance of the main scale past the Vernier scale 0 in a tabular form. Next, find the Vernier scale deviance that is coinciding with the any deviance on the main scale. Multiply it by least count of the Vernier caliper and add it in the main scale reading. This is equal to the diameter of the nut. Add 0 correction to get 0 measurement. Here in this picture you can see when on the reading on the main scale is 2.4 and the line which is coinciding of Vernier scale and main scale is 7, so multiply it with least count which is 0.07, then the reading will be 2.4 plus 0.07 which is equal to the diameter of the nut, which is 2.47. Use of external jaws. Here in this picture you can see the external jaws are used to measure the width of a sheet, which is an improper way or incorrect way. Here in this picture you can see it is the right way, way to measure the width of a sheet using external jaws. When we put sheet right on the right angle, then it will be right way to measure the length. And in first picture you can see the sheet is tilted and is not rightly placed in between the jaws of the Vernier caliper, so the reading is not correct and there is some difference between both the readings, incorrect or wrong reading. So it is the use of external jaws and the use of internal jaws. In this picture you can see internal jaws are used to measuring the internal diameter of an object. This is not the right way because the object is tilted and is not rightly or properly placed between the internal jaws of the Vernier caliper. Here in this picture you can see when internal jaws are using a proper way to measure the internal diameter of the object, then its reading will be correct or right. This is the right way of measuring or using internal jaws. Here to measure the depth of any object, in first picture you can see when the depth scale is not placed right on the right angle of the object, then it is the wrong way of reading. So when it is placed right on the right angle of the object, then it is the right way of measuring any depth of any object using a depth scale of the Vernier caliper. That's all for today's lecture. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.